and now we're back to another review, and this is going to be of the 2011, well, no, 2013 sequel to one of the most fun movies I saw in 2011, that is, and that is Thor: The Dark World. Yeah, I really enjoyed the sequel as well. This is another sequel that came out the same year as Iron Man 3 that I thought was really underrated as well. This film definitely had more action than the first movie, and I appreciated that because, the first film, some people had a lot of problem with what was going on Earth, but in this one, there's less of Earth and more of Asgard. So I don't know why a lot of people had a problem with that. They're like, but there's too much of Asgard in the film, and there's not enough. You know, there's a lot of Thor in the film. Thor's front and center in this movie. He's not pushed to the sidelines by Natalie Portman or Kat Dennings. So yeah, her comedy didn't work in the film. It was a little bit overbearing. I think Chris O'Dowd, the guy from Bridesmaids, the Irish guy, you could have cut him out of the film. He serves no purpose. He's there for like 2 scenes with Natalie Portman, and then he disappears. So, yeah, that was a flaw in the film I didn't need. The other British dude, yeah, you could take him or leave him. He was kind of there. He was there with to be Kat Dennings' boyfriend. Of course, yeah, they made a joke out of Professor Selvig, Stellan Skarsgård, but I can forgive it because in Avengers 2 he was there for like 1 scene, but he wasn't a joke. I thought they were going to make him take his pants off again, but yeah, there's a lot of comedy in the film, but there's a lot of times I laughed. Tom Hiddleston is still great as Loki. He steals every scene he's in. He's amazing. He still has great chemistry with Chris Hemsworth, who still owns as Thor. You get more of Jamie Alexander, as Lady Sif. I think she's still gorgeous in this movie. She saved Thor's life in the opening battle. Malekith, not the most memorable villain. He's pretty cool looking, but Christopher Eccleston or whatever his name is, it could have been a little bit. They could have given him more to do. He's just like a dark elf from Lord of the Rings that speaks in another language and kind of just is there. He's not as memorable as Ultron or Thanos or Loki. But there's a lot about the sequel I like. I really enjoyed the first Thor, and I enjoyed the sequel as well. I don't think the film needed to, it did make a lot of money. It made more than the first film. It came out in November, and I had fun with it. There's a lot of the cameos I liked. I liked Cap's cameo in the middle of the film. You had Chris Evans without his mask, and Loki was trying to, pretend to be him. It was great. Excuse me. I'm a little tired, but I'm gonna get through this review. I still got 3 more to go in the next couple of days. Anyway, I think the film is shot well. I think the director is much better than Shane Black. He didn't ruin the movie, with stupid characters that were just thrown in there, in Asgard. I know there's some characters on Earth that were kind of thrown in there, but they don't have as much screen time as the characters in Iron Man 3. And the action scenes are fun. I mean, there was a scene that Thor's in the train, and I was laughing because he had to get on the train in order to get to a certain city to fight Malekith. Asgard still looks beautiful. There's a lot of good, eye candy on the screen. Chris Hemsworth and Natalie Portman still got a nice little spark there. I don't mind the romance. It's not shoved down your face like in the Twilight movies. The pacing wasn't that bad. It was short. It didn't feel 2 hours like other films did. The director of Game of Thrones, I think he directed most of the episodes of that show. His vision worked well for the scenes in Asgard. It was good to see Renee Russo, even though she dies in the film. If you haven't seen the movie, you remember all of these reviews might have spoilers, so you have been warned. I think the film just, it's a fun movie. It's not depressing and boring and tedious like other films. And although the first one is definitely the better story, I think the sequel is a nice companion piece to the first Thor. So if you're a fan of Chris Hemsworth as Thor, you get a lot of him, and he really is just great in it. And there's a lot of fun to be had. I don't think it's as bad as some critics have made it out to be. They're like, oh, it's a failure because they did too much in it, or they didn't do enough like they did in the first Thor. But for a Thor sequel, it could have been a hell of a lot worse. Remember that. There can always be worse than what we get. But yeah, Thor: The Dark World is a solid sequel, and it was my favorite movie from 2013 because there's a lot of movies I didn't see that year. I didn't see Frozen until last year. I didn't see, what was it, Captain Phillips. I didn't see what won the Oscar last year? I forgot. Gravity. I didn't see that. That won for like best visuals. But there's a lot of movies I missed that year. But I'll probably get to them sometime. Excuse me. Just, I'm really tired. I've got up early a lot this week, and it's been really rough. But hey, I'm doing these videos for you guys because you deserve it. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate doing these videos on my Marvel films that I enjoy. I enjoy all of these films. I don't hate any of them from Phase 1 or Phase 2. They have problems. I admit a lot of them do, but I can look past the problems, especially when it entertains me. Did the sequel entertain me? Yes, it did. I saw in the theater. I liked the post-credit scene where Thor and Natalie Portman kiss. It was sweet, to the point. It wasn't 5 minutes long. And then the creature that comes back from Asgard and it's like running around. It's pretty funny stuff. And, the film has a charm to it that I need to find other films, excuse me. Anyway, that's my review of Thor 2, The Dark World. And the Dark World stuff didn't bother me either, by the way. When Natalie Portman gets controlled by the dark energy, I forgot what it was called. It wasn't the sulfur. What was it called? I forgot, but it was the dark energy that's inside of her. It was an interesting concept, and it didn't bother me. It didn't take me out of the film. So, Thor: The Dark World's a good film. I definitely appreciate it that we got a sequel, and then it was as good as it was, because it could have been bad. It could have been like Speed 2 or something. But anyway, that's Thor: The Dark World. Hope you guys do see it eventually, even though it's been out for 2 years now. It's been on Blu-ray for like a year and a half now. I definitely want to get it because I really enjoyed it. And it is what it is. These sequels, some of them you have to decide for yourself if you like them or not. Because I did. Because I'm not that picky. When something entertains me, I will give it the pass, no matter how many problems it has. So that's my review of Thor: The Dark World. The next one will be of the best sequel in this phase, and that is, of course, the iconic and epic sequel that some people have said this is better than the Avengers. I disagree, only because I like that Avengers has more characters and has Iron Man in it, but this is pretty damn close, and I love this movie no matter what anybody says, and I do think it's one of the best films from last year that kicked ass, and it surprised a hell of a lot of people. Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Awesome movie, and I'm going to review this next. Stay tuned. I know you guys won't be disappointed. I'm going to talk a lot about Cap, because Cap is one of my favorite Avengers. My favorite is Iron Man, but Cap is pretty close second, I think. And I love Chris Evans, so I'm going to talk about that one next. And thanks for watching. Take care, and I will talk to you guys next time about Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Stay tuned.